We're doing a moment of silence this evening.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone to the Corporation of the Township of Ontario Valley Committee meeting today. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, 1:30 PM. We're meeting in the council chambers, municipality and Zoom conferencing. Is there any additions to the agenda? Mayor Murphy?
Nope.
Nope. Murph? Tracy? John? I don't have any either. Perfect. Please, could I please have a confirmation of the agenda, please? Murph, all those in favor? Thank you very much. Is there any pecuniary interest of the general nature thereof? Seeing none, perfect. Was there any errors or omissions with the previous minutes? Okay, could I please have a confirmation of those minutes, please? Tracy, all those in favor? Thank you very much. We do not have any delegations today, so we'll move on to reports. Daryl Birch.
Hope you got all afternoon.
Actually, it was more detailed.
Was it?
Yeah.
How on the next one, Will? It's the fall rush now.
Oh, God.
So. We're start.
Was there any blue-green algae was my only question. You said that you're
Is there-
checking it daily?
Yeah, we check it every day
Okay.
and we've had nothing. But because the river is flowing, there's a pretty slight chance, but it's another rule that we have to.
Of course.
We have to follow, so.
So I highly recommend that everybody watch the AMO video because Daryl is in it.
I felt really proud, of all of you saying.
You got lots of cheers at AMO, our video, so we were one of 3 municipalities. So it's pretty neat. That it was us and Peterborough and. Bancroft, no,
Oh,
yeah,
I think so.
look at that, I was paying attention to people other than us. So it was pretty cool,
It helps someday. It's not this long it is.
another wave in September though, right? Another wave of funding,
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
yeah,
Yeah. we're
so
working
fingers
on that.
crossed.
Yeah.
We're out there now,
That's right.
right? So let's just hope for the best.
That's right.
Besides that, any questions for Daryl?
I was just gonna make a comment.
Yeah.
Just noticing going by sometimes, there's more and more people using that sewage dumpage off the trailers and that's really going over big, I think.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I get lots of calls like, well, we're coming by in a week, or, you know, we're gonna be coming by.
There's one there today was when I come here to the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's lots, of
Just an observation.
It's a good thing. It's the right place for it to go.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
put it
Unfortunately, it does beg the question, where was it going before?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's not talk about that.
I just- I have seen people there using it, which I think is phenomenal. But I did go negative, I'm sorry,
Yeah, well, that's the way it was.
I know,
But it's, I mean, it's the convenience thing. They're driving through, they just pull up and if they don't need to.
Well, you can empty your tank a little
Empty
more
your
easier
tank.
than emptying it less, right?
yeah.
Yes,
Like that's what
Yeah.
used to happen before. You used to go longer trips with more load inside,
Yeah,
right? So,
exactly.
besides that, Daryl, anything else?
Buddy?
Perfect. Have yourself a great day, Daryl. Thank
Bye,
you.
Daryl. Yeah, it's no different than our household hazardous waste. That very.
Well, I used to
first-
go in garbage bags, now it's,
Exactly.
now you have an option, right?
But that first day that it was open, they were so overwhelmed with HW, they didn't know what to do with it all. And it did beg the question, where was it going before?
100%. Do you know if Daryl's in his office?
No, he's not.
Is he gonna make it today?
He's hoping to make it
Oh,
today. He
okay.
had an appointment this morning.
Okay.
So, but he's not there. I don't know if Jason, you haven't seen Jason?
No, I haven't seen Jason come in, so that's all right. We can move on to correspondence A. It's a heavy correspondence A today.
Sorry. AMO is,
No, there's only 4. It's
I
pretty
know,
shy.
but they-
Actually. Any comments in correspondence A, anyone?
No.
Perfect. Correspondence B. We received a letter for the BB Inspired tour
mhm.
and stuff, so. Comments?
There was policy recommendations in there. Is that a separate attachment?
I just think that with something like that, it would be more appropriate to come as a delegation. We have our policy, we have our dates at which we re the banners. I appreciate the letter, but this is a policy decision that needs to be made by council.
Mhm.
So unless somebody wants to put a notice on the table that we're going to hang banners at the times that everybody wants them, then please do so, but I thought we had this pretty much sorted out.
Would it be, could we invite them to send a delegation to discuss this, or was that, that's not what you're saying?
Well, no, I think that, you know, the letter was sent and it was pretty clear that they wanted,
What the,
yeah, exactly, thank you. What you just said. So I'm perfectly willing to hear people out, but I think that it sort of went above what just a normal ask is.
Mhm.
But
I more, I guess, like when I looked at it, like I don't think it's, in my opinion, I don't think we need a direct policy like for it, just because we talked about the arena previously and all that. And so it can be a separate conversation, obviously, but what I thought was it's more of a, it kind of put in the opinion, same as like our ask for, like we talked about for the arena, for like planning the banners. I'm more discussing like some of the contents within it, in the
Mhm.
sense that it's like planning the banners. It's like no different than events that like happening at the library. Hey, can we have a list of all the individuals that want to like hang banners or individuals that want to put stuff at the arena? It's not you don't need to have a policy for it. It's more just a request for submissions. So when we're looking at the budget for next year.
but we already did that too.
No, we already do. I
Yeah,
know, I'm
that's-
just, that's where I'm more like,
Yeah.
kind of putting in that framework, that's like more of a, it's also a budgetary as well.
It is.
Because it's a massive inquest as well, but that's where I was more.
It absolutely is a budget decision.
Yeah.
And maybe something we should think about, you know, and yeah, I don't know.
I guess it, you know, when we talked about this before, it was about cost savings and timing these banners, and sometimes you can't time them because, well, you can if you know in advance, right? But it's
Exactly.
putting one up, taking one down.
And-
That's the savings to taxpayers.
Exactly. So, you know, when we get lambasted in the editorial about taking the Christmas lights down for the summertime when it doesn't get dark until 10 o'clock at night, but we took those lights down at the same time as we put a banner up.
Exactly, it's savings. to
So I think
taxpayers.
that, you know, we're trying to do the best we can do for our ratepayers. We want to have banners up, we want to promote at all times. But at the same time, we know that this is a far more expensive venture now than it used to be.
Mhm.
And, you know, I see Jim's truck is up for sale and I was thinking, you know, would it be, I don't know what kind of shape it's in, but would it be less expensive just to have a bucket truck for streetlights and banners and everything else? I don't think that's within our scope except for budgetary, but certainly
Well, I
something.
think what an ask what could be is like in a future, like reports, say be it Nets or Jason's or whatever, it's like what actually is a single line item cost of what. Like it's been so far, say this year for us putting up the banners.
Yeah,
Lights, flags, and what actually has that cost actually been? Be like, whoa, this is a really expensive venture we can put towards our roads or something else, like,
Mhm.
just like gives a line item, because you want expenses to get out of control, right? Because it's very expensive to put things up and down.
but well, streetlights aren't an option.
Oh, no,
flags-
I've seen all the street lights, like flags, but we also talked about lowering potentially flags consistent with other, like, say, if we can lower them so we can access them through.
That's just the museum.
Yeah, just.
No, but even our own ones that are hanging on the actual main hydro poles, right? You can actually end up lowering them, like we discussed previously as well.
Oh,
So you
mean
can
like
access
the,
them easier,
sorry, you're
yeah.
talking about the banners. Yeah. Well, the Legion, I understand, is going bigger and better, with their,
Well, there's different kinds of
With their
banners that we talked
campaign
about
this
before,
year.
right? There's different ways of marketing their events than.
Well, it's
Just-
the
Yeah.
reason I say it's like you get a cost on, say, what we're spending on banners every year, and you're like, hey, why wouldn't you run the numbers, you look at it and be like, hey, if we didn't do it anymore, like, what are we actually gonna say for it? what can we put towards it? Maybe we don't even have to get Christmas lights you have to take down. And ones that can stay up all year round, they can illuminate with.
I,
Like that's where it's just a numbers. I'm curious actually, what is the one-time use?
but we still need to promote.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are some that aren't promoting necessarily events, they're promoting very important things in our community, including, you know, survivors of abuse and I don't see a way past putting up some of these banners, but promoting some of the events is extremely important
Yeah.
to our community. So I think there's gotta be a break even point with how much it costs versus is that bucket truck worthwhile? Then we could do things internally. But again, I don't think that's up to council except for budgetary. I think that would be up to Jason and Annette.
But not only that, but the bucket truck sales, where do we go?
What's that?
I say, if he sells his bucket truck, where do we go?
Well, we've already used alternatives so far.
You said Ben was selling his truck.
Yes, we're not using one anymore.
We haven't
Oh, you're not
used
doing
them.
No,
No.
but I don't know what that, I mean, I
Okay.
just saw it for sale outside of the business. But.
But
Like,
I think the starting point for it just be like, what's our current line item cost for it? It is budgetary, 100%.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it doubled from last year,
Yeah.
right? The costs have doubled.
Yeah.
But I can get you a figure, that's no problem. And it's actually Kevin that does them, but Jason, of course, assists with traffic control.
Yeah.
The Legion, just so you're aware, Hydro One helped last year and they've offered to help again this year.
Oh, nice.
So they'll be putting them up and then we take them down. So that saves us at least that one cost, which didn't increase our cost because of course we were already taking the spring, summer banners down and putting up the winter ones. So that was already happening.
Right.
So also putting in the Remembrance Day banners and the Veterans banners in between was gonna add one more layer to that.
Mhm.
But because Hydro One has assisted, now we still have some staff time, because they're still there directing and traffic and stuff like that, but it saves us the cost of renting the bucket truck, and Hydro sends a couple of workers and a truck out to assist us at no cost. Well, not to assist us, really, it's a Legion
Mhm.
that they're assisting, but we really do appreciate that, so hopefully that partnership continues.
and according to my invitation, they have more banners this year.
Yeah,
Which
so,
is very exciting.
yeah, so we really do appreciate the assistance there from our friends at Hydro One.
I think if people knew just what you said, the cost, right, then they would
Yeah, the
understand
cost is.
Yeah.
what our objectives are and how much we're saving.
Well,
Yeah.
sounds good. The Jason is here, but we might as well finish correspondence B. and-
Just want to comment, sorry,
Yeah.
Brent, on the painted landscape tour. I'm going to that meeting with the organizers and with the museum.
That looks amazing, and I think what
Gotcha.
Anya is asking for is a letter of
A letter of support and,
Support.
yeah, are we, or if we wanted to contribute. But yes, right now, a letter of support so that they can go ahead and file their grant application, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. Here's
Absolutely.
proportion. Actually, it was a really nice painting made.
Okay,
That was
Yeah.
done
It's
up.
a cool project.
okay.
it's fantastic. It's a great, and she's amazing.
And I-
Sorry to jump. I'm
No worries.
sorry.
I actually had that highlighted as number 8.
Okay.
Discuss. That's
Um,
perfect. Besides that, anyone else have anything else in correspondence B they want to discuss?
What is, remind me the scooter program?
well,
I think we talked about this at AMO.
yes, we did. So the challenge is with our hills.
Yeah, the landscaping here, right?
Yes, the topography
Yeah.
of our village does not really lend itself. It's fine for e-bikes, maybe not e-scooters. Maybe we wait for an e-bike program.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them on the road,
No,
so.
no, but I, obviously, as we all know, I've spoken to the e-scooter people on numerous occasions. And when I told them about our topography, the guy said, it,
Maybe there's ones for ATVs.
they, ATV all over
Electric.
the village. No, I'm just
Golf
wondering
carts.
if maybe this is something we should look at if, when an e-bike program comes out.
Okay.
I don't wanna rain on, I'm really Debbie Downer today. I mean, we can look into it, guys, but
No, I think we're
with the hills,
No,
Yeah,
Sounds good. Anything else in correspondence B? Perfect. Do correspondence C?
Yeah,
Jen?
well, yeah, no.
Are you happy, Brent? We have a seat.
I don't know.
I gave it to him.
Yeah.
I
He's been
gift-
dying for this.
I gifted it. Yes, I think that, I've been over it again, and I think that we should definitely pass this resolution. I wanted a little more from the OMA, but I think AMO did their research, and I think it should go out.
Sounds good. This evening or?
It can be the
meeting?
next one, that's fine.
Next meeting's fine.
I think I added. Maybe that was a different
I
one.
just,
I didn't think it was in it.
It was probably something different then. Yep, it is on this evening.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Oh, right, oh, it's on this evening under correspondence C.
oh, I was gonna say, no, it's not.
Yeah, I didn't see any
Well, because
message.
it's still under correspondence C, but council can go ahead and support it tonight if you want. I do have the resolution ready to go.
Oh,
But
okay.
I can hold it, doesn't matter.
Next meeting is fine.
Yeah.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. All right, perfect. Then we have Jason. So Jason,
Hi, Jason.
come aboard.
The biggest thing that I have right now is Zada Road. They were on their last 60, 70 meters at the dig out. And they're bringing back them in. So they will be finishing up tomorrow on the dig out. And then I guess they have two more culverts to put in. A little bit of ditching, and then we're gonna pulverize. Hay gravel, and in probably 2 weeks they should be paying.
We just. Oh, that's August 15th, that's weird.
I just got a complaint last week about not having one lane open, and I didn't even get into all the reasons why we don't have one lane open.
You
Seeing you're that close to finishing.
Did you drive through there?
No, I drove up to it. Yeah. No, it's got liability problems written all over, just walking away at night and leaving one lane.
So, and it's not wide enough anyway,
No, it's not wide enough anyway.
once you have your geogridding and your cloth down. Because it overlaps the lane so much,
Mhm.
you don't have enough there for the road.
So I can respond, and tell them it's in 2 weeks' time, it should have all the lanes open.
It'll be open within the next probably week. Or so,
Well, the letter we got today says September 6th.
yeah.
Little optimistic.
Well, it depends on rain and any other things, correct, so.
Yeah, we literally just got an email. But the letter is dated August 14th.
Snowdrifters, waste site, so Monday to Thursday hours, Snowdrifters have ended on the 29th of August. September 5th, the waste site will be open Thursdays from 12 till 2, till October 21st. And we'll do this is kind of like another pilot, just to see if how much interest there is with the contractors and everything else. Start holidays and waste site closures. The waste sites will be closed Monday, September 2nd, Labor Day. And also on Monday, September 30th. National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Hazardous waste is closed, will be closed, sorry. On September 28th. We generally do that because new regulations will come into effect normally October 1st. And there's a lot that usually close the end of September. Other is closed.
Yep.
And the winter sand is to be finished within the half an hour.
Beauty.
Be precise.
Any questions for Jason?
I wish we didn't need winter sand.
Yeah, we're still too. But anyway,
See if the farmer's almanac is right or not.
hope not.
Yep.
Why?
I was just calling for a lot of snow. I think it's November, December.
Snow.
They pretty much said November, December, January, February, lots of snow and cold.
Didn't they say that last year?
Yeah, but you can't be wrong if you say there's snow. But no, it's supposed to be heavy, but who knows?
If it goes by the summer, better hang on.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah,
Besides that, have yourself a great day there, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Jason.
Thanks.
Take care.
You wanna ask Daryl? Thank you.
May I ask, Annette, what makes the correspondence and correspondence C fit there rather than above?
Correspondence C under our procedural bylaw is for something that's been held over from the previous meeting. Pardon, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Okay.
Hello, so A is information, B are action items, C is brought back.
Thank you.
Should correspond to Brent though. Reverse them. Daryl, go ahead,
Sir,
sir.
Daryl,
I don't.
Nothing really, or just keep trucking on. This one was as of October or August 27th, sorry. We've had a couple other calls since then, but one was in now.
Yeah.
So. I think we're gonna be, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll just leave it at that.
I think the family's just happy you saved the home.
Well, yeah. Down there, yeah. It was, I was actually a little behind because I was somewhere else, but our crews went in, knocked it down before NAW showed up, so they did a good job with it.
Excellent.
And as always, we're always looking, I do have one application that came in last week. So at some point I will interview this person and try and get our numbers up and away we go, so. As for building, it's self-explanatory.
Holy cow, that's quite the month you had.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was a good month. And then I got it hit again. So I imagine this is gonna start to slow down. The end of this month, maybe sometime in October. She'll start to peter off a little bit, but
Still pretty amazing.
yeah, we're doing okay.
No, it's nice to see it bounce back after last year too, right?
Yeah.
So,
And third part of that report, I mean, you see, I have a running total of the permit fees.
Yeah.
So it's keeping track of everything. Makes it easy for everybody, so
It's good.
that's it.
I was shocked. I read the report and then I put my computer away. And I'm like, did I actually see that number? So I opened my laptop back up and read it again.
Yeah. And we're doing all right.
Yeah,
I suspect you haven't been around the concession 10. I have not. I've got some pictures for you if you would like. Just for the concession 10 is just down the road from me.
Mm.
And the guys come in there without our permission and ripped everything to hell and whatnot and piled rocks in the middle of the road, so. I didn't think he'd take time, so I got some pictures of here's what's happening. Yeah, I won't be, I'm out tomorrow morning, but I'm going that way. So. Like, I keep an eye on it weekly. I mean, I expect somewhere in there, I'm gonna see a trench or somebody's gonna wants to build a house in the middle of a concession or something, right? You know? And he's had no permission to do anything. Is that their property? Hey, are they working on their property? No, they're working on the township property. They're working township property and then they're overreached on my property. I think I have mentioned it to Jason already as well.
well, Merv, maybe just carry that into a private conversation.
Yes,
afterwards
that's-
on it.
Yeah.
Just
That's
be-
what
If
they- yeah.
it's in relation to your own and then township, just
Yeah.
maybe separately have a just
Yes,
conversation
that's
afterwards with
what I
either
was planning on
Daryl
doing.
and Annette, not in public. I would
That's what I
talk to
was
them.
planning on doing after the meeting, just saying I've got something to look at.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. Besides that, anything for Daryl?
hi, Daryl.
Perfect, thanks,
Have
Daryl.
a good day, Daryl.
Does anyone need a break before we go into new unfinished business? Perfect, we'll move on to the mayor's report, 8.1.
Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole thing because it's 8 pages, but since my last report, I attended 37 meetings and several events. Some of the highlights are as follows. We had a couple of delegations at county council, from the Warden's Golf Tournament, the warden gave some money to Autism Ontario. And we had a presentation by, the most amazing young woman, Tassine Ali. And we also had people from our MESA team, Jennifer Dombrowski and April Muldoon, and our MESA coordinator Barb, who also accepted some money for the MESA program. We also had a delegation from the OVTA. You know, Ottawa Valley Tourism does so much behind the scenes that we don't even see. It's just incredible. Of note for you guys, the Apiano Road reconstruction was extended to the full 13.4 kilometers from Wyland Shore to 41, which is a lot longer than we anticipated. This was due to good pricing from the contractor and the fact that they said, you know what, we're here now, like, let's just get the rest of it done. But don't quote me on this, I think the project was extended about 5 kilometers.
It's like 8.4.
Yeah.
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 It's a long stretch. I
Big jump.
drove down there like when they started the project.
Yeah,
And it's a very long
It's a
stretch,
big
which
deal.
is awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and in my, well, hang on, we'll get to my URN report, but the people on the Opeongo should be very happy right now. So we also are talking about automated speed enforcement. A whole bunch of municipalities in Ontario have been doing them. They can only be done in school zones and designated community safety zones. So LAS is doing this program and we could get in on it. I jokingly said to county council, with no school buses, we should just make our entire village of Eganville a community or a school zone, because the kids are walking now. But if we can find areas that we want to designate community safety zones, this might be something that we might want to get into, because I would say of the complaints and concerns I get, I'm going to say at least 50% of them are due to speeding. Whether it's speeding coming in from one of the tributaries, speeding on 60, speeding on little roads around your place, like not your place, just your,
Yeah,
but
that corner where I am is
Yeah.
brutal.
I know.
We're by the school.
I've had people say somebody's going to have a terrible accident there,
Mhm.
coming around that corner. So, we're not done with this project yet. Staff at the county are still working on it. But I seriously think this is something that we should get in on when it comes to fruition.
Well, we're a unique, like, so just talking specifically for Eganville, with all the other roads that come in, I think we're a very unique area, like village, for example, because you have so many outlying roads that come into a small
I know.
intersection. So like, we spoke about community safety zones, that was with the previous council as well.
Mhm.
And one of the things, and that's when we said you can't designate the whole township as it.
I wish we
Even if
could.
you're double like speeding fines, but something to look at, like what actually is the criteria for it, because like you look at, you have, like, I know, like we had talked about previously, but you just think about it, is that you have your school on the other side, the kids coming down from Bonnechere Street West, and then you have from
Crossing
your
60.
Fourth Street to Queen Street, you have from your Alice Street that goes down to Patrick Street, that magically converts to Queen Street to Bridge Street to Water Street. It's like right there, it's
I
like.
know.
So like, I think we're a very unique town, because then you have from your Augsburg end, like your intersect in, like,
So there are rules right now for community safety zones.
Yeah.
However, I would like to know what the rules are once LAS gets done with this.
well, and that's what I'm
And-
curious at, is
Yeah.
like, you kind of think about it, you're like, well, why should one area qualify when the other areas technically
Right.
qualify, because we're such a small community?
I mean, school zones are school zones, right? It's so many meters around the school. But I'm far more interested in community safety zones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, Roma met on July 19th. We discussed the LAS water and wastewater. This this workshop was oversubscribed at AMO. I know Annette made it in. I was in the line. I cut the line. I said to Annette, I'll let you do it and I'll go to another one. I think this indicates that AMO, Roma, and LAS are targeting a very important challenge across Ontario. We talked about our Roma 2025 conference and our revised 2024 work plan. Of note, we added our municipal fire departments to our work plan due to the mounting legislation around apparatus. And we received support from Roma for Bonashir Valley's resolution to exempt emergency vehicles from emission standards. Karen Nesbitt from Policy AMO gave an update on housing and homelessness, infrastructure, health, childcare, and Indigenous relations. We also met in person on August 18th at the AMO conference. At that time, our chair, Robin Jones, resigned and left the meeting to first Vice Chair Crystal Lowry. We had the opportunity to have over an hour with Minister Paul Calandra, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. We discussed the AMO paper regarding a social and economic prosperity review, concerns with the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund, and continued partnership with MMAH. After the meeting, I met Minister Calandra in the hallway, and he committed to having more conversations with the Roma board and was very interested in our rural perspective. Just to give you the timeline, Minister Calandra was only put in his ministry right after AMO last year. This was the first opportunity that the Roma board had to sit down with him in person. It was far more than an hour, but we spoke to him many times over the next couple of days. The AMO election resulted in former Chair Jones becoming the president of AMO, and we sent her a congratulatory note from the Roma board. We also said goodbye to one of our staff who moved from I can't think where she was now, to London. Anyway, so she left the Roma board, and the election also resulted in a lot of changes in our AMO appointees. We thank Rainey Weisler, Paul Adam, and Peter Emo for their years of service to Roma. New AMO Rural Caucus appointees, Dane Nielsen, Natasha Salonen, Nathan Townend, Tanya Vribosh, and our staff member Nicole Martin. They will be onboarded at our September meeting. The EORN board did not meet this month. However, we did have an executive meeting during the AMO conference. I also want to report that 2 new sites are now Rogers sites. Are now operational in Bonashir Valley. One site is just off the Opeongo Road, and another in the area of Corrigan Road. And I will tell you, my fixed wireless has been moved from facing the Eganville Tower to Corrigan Road. So it's pretty exciting. And I hope that the people on the Opeongo take advantage. So the AMO conference, we had more than 3,000 municipal people, government officials, public servants, exhibitors, and media. This was the largest AMO conference in history. Thank you to Councillor Sanderson, Councillor Epps, and CAO Gilchrist for attending this conference with me. I'm sorry, guys. I've got a terrible tickle in my throat. Give me 1 second. So weird. So we heard from the Premier, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, Women's Leadership Forum, leaders of the NDP, Liberal, and Green parties, and the Federal Minister of Housing. There were over 700 delegations.
Would you like us to give you a couple minutes, Mayor Murphy?
My fisherman's friends will start working. Hang on. So the County of Renfrew participated in delegations with the Associate Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Michael Tobolo, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Education, Billy Pang, Associate Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response, Trevor Jones, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Finance, Dave Smith, and Parliamentary Assistant to Long-Term Care, Kevin Holland. Each of these delegations had an ask and a solution from the county, except the Ministry of Finance, which of course was the one that I was leading. And I was kind of embarrassed, but there's no solution for this except to ask for the Ministry of Finance to get MPAC to do reassessments as soon as possible. We are still working on the 2016 assessments. And waiting after a provincial election in 2026 or 27 is not ideal. Bonnechere Valley, Mississippi Mills in the town of Renfrew also met with the Associate Minister of Energy, Sam Oosterhoff, regarding our hydro dams. We will have further information on this initiative after future meetings. I've got all sorts of information about the conference in here for your reading pleasure. During the Rural Caucus lunch, we heard from a director of the Ontario Medical Association. It came as no surprise that the lack of primary physicians presents a challenge across the province. During the question period, I asked the question of how the proposed capital gains tax will affect recruiting doctors, not only in Ontario, but across Canada. This tax will certainly make us non-competitive in the sector. And the director assured the room that the OMA was lobbying to make doctors exempt. Our federal Minister of Housing, Sean Fraser, spoke about more lands being released for housing development. And I wish that we were able to ask him questions, because the one question I have was around duty to consult with our Indigenous partners for new federal lands in proposed developments. Knowing the duty to consult that we went through for the cell towers, I would certainly hope that this isn't being just railroaded. So just something for us to keep our eyes on. So Minister Sturma spoke, Minister Calandra spoke, Ministers Forum. And finally, Bonnechere Valley was one of three municipalities featured in the AMO video presenting projects funded by the Canadian Community Building Fund, previously the federal gas tax. Congratulations to our township for this honor. It was really cool.
As I said earlier, I felt really proud.
It was really cool.
to
Yeah.
See you guys up there.
And I got the last word in the video.
And then that, you did really well.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
you're all very talking conferences, whatever, but we don't often hear from Annette,
Yeah,
you know,
she was a star.
she was. a star.
And then there was Daryl. I was so excited that he made the cut,
Yeah,
because they cut that video from 8 minutes to 3 minutes.
I like the way they integrated it with
So do I.
the other areas, like it's not just a straight talking head.
Absolutely. And I, as I said earlier, like, I had more hallway chats with ministers than anything else. Like, sometimes I think that's better than a delegation. So anyway, on August 3rd, it was my honor to attend the opening ceremonies of the second annual Bonnechere Inspired Tour. Thank you to the museum, Kella Desjardins and Laurel Cook for ensuring this was a fantastic weekend. Councillor Sanderson and I attended most of the stops on the tour, and we revisited the fact that this is one big township. So we didn't plan our stops very well, I guess.
No. We shared the ride in some of them and then we tagged team.
Then then we were dividing in well,
Yeah.
we were
Caravan.
driving together, but
Yeah.
we drove all the way from Scotch Bush, all the way almost to North Alberta Wilberforce.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, but it was a fun day
yeah.
and a beautiful day too.
Lots of talent in our community, that's for sure.
Yes, a lot of talent.
Mhm.
Our last stop was actually, on Silver Lake Road, and they had a lot of people with their stuff. But some of the photography and the paint, oh my gosh, and the purses
Yeah.
or the bags, wow. Thank you, Tracy, for attending the swim program wrap up on my behalf, appreciate it.
Um,
On. On August 25th, I presented the Zion Lutheran Church of Augsburg with a certificate in recognition of their 150th anniversary. And on August 29th, I attended the summer company wrap up. Bonnechere Valley student business owner Kyle Radford, who has a mobile barbecue cleaning business, finished his first summer as an entrepreneur. Congratulations to Kyle, and that concludes my report. Unless anyone has questions.
It's a good summary.
Oh, it's 8 pages. I put in
Yeah.
everything and then I just thought. I'm not gonna read it to you. You guys can read. I'm gonna send it to Sandra right now.
Any questions? Perfect, thank you very much. I'm glad you're able to make it through your report.
Sorry about that, guys.
Please.
And I am attending OEMC next week, so I'll have a report on that. Later on.
Next meeting or the next mayor's report?
No, the next mayor's report.
Sounds good. Perfect, 8.2, AMO report.
I did find on my computer, not which isn't here, so I can send
Okay,
in something
John,
or comment after John.
So again, I have one in process, but the points the places that I visited, which I thought were very useful, I'm just making note to myself here. And some of them aren't directly pertinent to Bon Cheval Valley, but very pertinent to Renfrew County. I really enjoyed attending the one from the nuclear industry. Both, and for me, for 2 reasons. One was about the way they're cycling their refurbishment at Bruce. And the second was the fact that they've developed, unknown to me, they've now developed a plug-in reactor that will create medical isotopes. And when the Mapleson D reactor went down at Chalk River, gosh, that must be 8 years ago, and they decided not to rebuild it. I thought we were lost, but because we've been producing almost half of the isotopes in the world. And now that's gonna happen again, and their brilliant new machine will plug in to, they can take it, when this reactor goes down, they plug it into another reactor, it's brilliant. And that to me was very important, obviously, I have an interest in that, it puts Canada back in the market for supplying very important things to the world. Lots of talk on housing, the opioid crisis and mental health. I attended 2 different sessions in those areas. And I'm sort of, I realized more than ever that these things were very closely linked to each other. You can't extricate those 3 things. And whereas my work sometimes takes me into the area of opioid crisis and deaths. It was amazing to me. 2 things were amazing, that housing was so critical in mental health treatment for changing that opioid crisis, i.e. death toll. But also what I really liked was the people that were talking from the forum table, the panel, said we have to intervene with kids that are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. That was brilliant, and I had never thought of that, and yet if you don't build reliance and sort of self-pride and self-worth in those kids, you're not going to be able to change the way this is turning out. So I like both of those very much.
well, stay tuned because I will have news out of the county. We have a lot of irons in the fire. So it'll, and our NESA team, I cannot say enough good about them. We did have a challenge here over the weekend and I found one of our deputy chiefs and he got the NESA team and I love the fact that Renfrew County is so innovative. We find solutions where they're necessary and we don't wait around for the province to say, yes, you can do that, right? And you just reminded me, I also went to the recreation facility session where they were talking about how all of our arenas were built through Ontario, so 50 years ago. And now they're all obsolete, so we should just be building new greener arenas. And at that, about half the room stood up and walked out. So it was very odd. It was very, very, very odd. I thought they were going to be talking about like natural playgrounds and, how do we keep our play apparatus going? No, I was shocked. But it was like a mass exodus. The guy said it, and a whole bunch of people stood up and walked out.
They told them.
Well, it's a ridiculous notion,
It's a ridiculous thing.
right?
Mhm.
Like, we can make our arena greener, but we're not gonna abandon it and build a new one.
Yeah, Use money for that.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing that's going on here, you have one arena and multiple municipalities supporting that arena. We support it, we have the support from Northern Illinois.
Oh, no, they suggested that like if you have service clubs, that they should be fundraising for it. So our service clubs are going to raise like $30 million. I think not.
Dream on.
Yeah, sorry, that is in my report. I just glossed over it. I was thinking about the other ones I went to too.
I was going to state, Mayor Donahue got up and at one of the panels I attended on opioid crisis. He mentioned both the our MESA program and our VTAC program, and there was clapping and jaws dropping. I think we still are, it's worth promoting. People really admire those programs.
I had never met Paul Calandra before, ever. And when we had a Roma meeting with him, and I said, I'm the mayor of Bonnechere Valley and I'm a councillor with the county of Renfrew, he immediately went, oh, the county of Renfrew, and then referenced us later on about
Nice.
some of our innovation. So, you know, it's pretty incredible. We have put ourselves on the map.
That's thanks to you guys, you know, and being advocates and out there and, you know, the video featuring the work we're doing and.
Well, and Annette and I have been on a panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I think the other thing is having a seat at FCM,
Yeah.
AMO, Roma, Eorn, Chalk River,
important.
like wherever we can have a seat at the table where we can push our message is so bloody important. So at this time, the warden still, as the chair of the Wardens Caucus, he is on AMO still. So that's good news. But yes, like we need a seat at each of those tables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to have over an hour with the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing is quite something.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
He's very approachable man too, it seems.
he's
like
very nice. Yeah, and very smart.
Very passionate about what he does.
And Renfrew County secret weapon, the deputy mayor that I had lunch with, his wife is a Kashub from,
Oh.
she's, no, she didn't, so she's an Olmsted from Barry's Bay. And Premier Ford's head of office in Ottawa, his wife is a Kashub, she's a Koulis from Barry's Bay.
Okay,
So you can just tuck that into your hat, that means we've got influence.
Do you want me to comment on?
sure.
Yeah, so
I would
attended-
like them in writing though, guys.
Yeah,
They should
definitely.
be part of our minutes and you were asked to write something.
Sorry.
So like,
Left quickly and I
I-
didn't bring it, yeah.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, this is taxpayers' money and they deserve
Done.
it in the minutes.
So I attended some of the same sessions. I went to the one on nuclear and I felt really proud to be from this area that we rank so high, that we lead, sorry, we don't rank, we lead in medical isotopes.
Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking about and I attended the medical association event with you and talking about attracting physicians to the area. And with my marketing mindset, I'm like, what can we do? Is there a community fund to go after marketing? Because a physician is a person who chooses to live here because they love the area as much as John lives here, you know? So what can we do as a community in marketing our community to attract people to live here and ultimately attracting physicians and nurse practitioners and across the whole spectrum?
Well, and she was very interesting when she said, this isn't only about physicians.
Right, it's not, it's
Right?
the medical team.
It's exactly, she talked about nurse practitioners being so important. And I just like, when, I wasn't expecting her to speak that long. But in the end, I was glad she did,
Right,
because
exactly.
she had a lot of good information. And we know we're not alone. This is not a Renfrew County problem.
No, it's not, and we can't, you know, touching federal, provincial issues, but what we can do better is marketing where we are and why people want to live here. You know, we've got proximity to Ottawa, an hour and a half.
Well, it's about the spouse as well.
It is, it's about all of it, it's the whole
Yeah.
package what she talked about,
Children.
so how can, and then thinking with the municipal hat on, how can we make a difference? So it's, you know, as I said, my background's marketing, so of course that would be my solution. Is to attract, and it's not, it's business, it's economic growth, it's all of it.
I think that there was a valiant effort through PRH and through RDH years ago for doctor recruitment. And I think that municipalities put in money to have the dock stay, whatever the criteria was, let's call it 2 years. But they were coming and then they were leaving, and that's not good for the patient either. It's gotta be a permanent solution.
Yeah.
And, I think of our own Mike Petrini. I
He's
can't even
retiring soon.
imagine, and absolutely, and I can't even imagine the workload he has, and new docs are not taking that kind of patient load on.
Killu was recently, because I got in, but they just lost another doctor as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's one doctor there, but they have a really nice setup and I digress, but a nice community setup, same thing, a nurse, they've got a social worker, a doctor, massage therapist, chiropractor.
Now, I do think for our immediate area, having VTAC as
Mhm.
bricks and mortar is not a bad thing to have,
No,
right? So now we've got a wellness clinic in there, VTAC, I'm not sure when it's staffed, but I can get that information, but I think that, that paramedic base is so much more than a paramedic base now. And I think that we have to remember that it's going to be a community hub for healthcare in general. I think that VTAC can assess, should I be going to the emergency room?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Just commenting, same with the opioid crisis, attended a couple sessions on that and it's, they were, Minister of Health promoting the hubs, wellness hubs. Shutting down the needle exchange.
yeah.
Well, I think it's great. I have serious concerns about that, but again, it's nothing, you know what I mean? It's not really a municipal issue, right? It is an issue, it is a big issue. The opioid crisis is our issue.
It's in my report.
Yeah, I
something
know,
Jones
it's-
talked about.
Yeah, so as a counselor attending it, I have had concerns about those who are seeking treatment. We don't know what it looks like yet, right? We don't know what this community hub looks like yet.
No,
So, like. See,
But
wait and
we
see
will.
where it lands. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
we will know more.
Yeah. Lots of attended
Like,
women.
they always make these announcements at conferences,
Yeah, we
but
don't.
then it takes a while to flush things out,
Exactly.
right?
And not many like Rob Ford, so that is.
mean Doug?
Doug, sorry, very Freudian. That was interesting listening to the opposition and other leaders and same message, everything he's done wrong, but again, looking for the meat on what their plans are.
Well, because I think it's always easy to say, we're gonna do better,
Yeah, of course.
right?
So I'm just looking for the.
How are you gonna do
I
that?
want to know the how. What else did I, then the women in leadership and, that was pretty good and where they landed and we were talking about the, Women Say No in Ontario or women leaders, and I was just trying to figure out where that was coming from.
Yeah, that was a mystery. Did anybody find out what that was?
Yes, the Women Say No, we brought that to council, I'm gonna say in July, at the July meeting, might have been the second meeting in June. So it really is about conduct and incivility and that kind of thing, and so yes, it is a group of women that are leading Women Say No, but it's not just women say no, it's everyone says no to disrespect and incivility and all of those things, and so they did a whole presentation up at Queen's Park. And they are a group of women leading this, but if you read the resolution and the supporting documents around it, it's for everybody. And it's just really trying to work on people being more respectful and more civil to each other.
Well, then maybe it shouldn't say women, like, how do you know I'm not bullying Brent behind the scenes?
Happens all the time.
I'm just saying,
How do
like,
you know
Oh,
what
that
Brent
was-
identifies as?
But Annette, that was also in relation to municipal workers and treating
Yes,
yes,
municipal workers, right?
Yes, yeah,
But it was
yeah,
the
it's- no,
stroke
but
was,
this-
the stroke was broad, but the
Yes.
organization lens, the title
Yes.
was narrow.
yeah.
And there was
Well,
no
I-
information on they handed out postcards, right? It
Yeah.
was just Women Say No.
that's all it said.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was very odd.
Miscommunication.
And when the mayors came over to me and she goes, what are we saying no to?
I said that to you when I was sitting, listening to the speakers.
Incivility and disrespect for everyone.
But again, okay, whatever I'm gonna say is gonna be so not politically correct, I'm not even gonna go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's up to us as well. I don't think it can be. I think in this realm, you have to have thick skin. You have to know what you're getting into. And that's where I'm gonna leave it because I'm gonna go down a really.
I will
dark path.
say that women of our generation, we were trailblazers through it, so. You know what I mean, this, yeah, exactly.
I know
It's gonna
exactly what
go
you're
in
saying.
a different path, but, finally, last point, I attended some interesting, during the trade show, spoke to some different vendors, which. You know, a couple of them came to mind was the electrical panel mapping. I think I sent that to you, not that we're gonna go there, we think we're too small, but. Just technology solutions for.
Oh, yeah.
This was for Parks and Rec
Yeah.
particularly.
Did
Yeah,
you see the self-cleaning Johnny on the spots?
yes, so I,
So I brought
that was
back
the
the
second one I was
information.
gonna recommend, talk about, yeah.
Yeah, so I brought back they're expensive. They're really expensive,
You need, if there was funding for that, it would be
but
great.
that's what so why not bring back the information? That guy took a lot of time with us too.
Oh, me too. I was there for the candy, but you know,
No, and then we got our photo taken.
yeah. I thought those two,
But-
those are the two that I really impressed me.
That trade show was good though.
Yeah, it's good.
Like really good.
Yeah.
I brought back a whole drawer full of pens that I gave to ladies.
Brent, you'd be interested in the fact that steel chainsaws were represented.
Yes, they were.
Good show.
Yeah.
They were hanging right there for the taking.
And then one nuclear too. That was a good setup.
PNL was there for the very first time ever.
Oh,
That was fun. They've never been to a trade show.
It was well attended overall, as you already mentioned, the conference and, you know, it was good meeting lots of people and then just hanging out with, getting to know Renfrew County. You know,
Yeah.
leaders is important as well.
We had some nice times. But I think the hallway chats are so bloody important. Just to know that we're not alone, like outside of Renfrew County, I mean,
And
right?
learning different things they're going through and things we
Absolutely.
may not have faced yet.
Yeah, but I also, I think it's funny, you know, talking to Marianne Mead Ward, the mayor of Burlington, and like Burlington has some of the same problems that we have, you know, the same challenges. It's funny, even some of the larger centers have pretty big challenges that mirror ours. A lot of discussion about fire too. I was surprised at that.
That's about it. And you mentioned so much already that I don't want to be state.
No, I'm glad that you guys I did not get to go to many sessions, obviously, but I did get to go to delegations, so I think, you know, we divided and conquered, that's good.
So AMO has a rural caucus, which is of interest to us.
Yes,
And of the other organizations you go on, FCM isn't specifically rural, is it?
no, that's the
That's
Federation
the
of
Federation of
Canadian.
Canadians, okay. And are there any of the other committees you sit on a rural focus?
Eorn somewhat, Roma for sure, it's right in the name.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Eorn somewhat. Like that idea of trying to find regional solutions. I mean, Eorn kind of includes the city of Ottawa because they've got a rural component. But I mean, the Cell Gap project that was started, you know, 2 decades ago, that came out of a rural need.
Yeah.
So Eorn was formed as a baby to the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus as sort of like, we can't do this in silos. Let's get together and find a solution for all of us, for all 13 of us. So yeah, so somewhat rural.
Okay.
Yeah. And I pitched the idea, we had an amazing delegation at the county from our chapter of the Agriculture Federation. And I pitched it at an Eorn meeting as a possible other project, and I thought, you know, they might take it, they might leave it. Everybody was so excited about it. So now I'm going to ask the delegates, our Eorn meeting is here this month. I was gonna see if I could get them to come and speak. And Jeff Leal, who is the mayor of Peterborough, who is very involved in ag. I caught him at one of the receptions, and he said it's a really good idea as a regional approach for abattoirs, inspectors, all of it.
Mhm.
So
Well, a huge shortage.
One of our members was saying they take their pigs to Owen Sound. That seems like a really long, like from way east, eastern Ontario, all the way to Owen Sound. It's a long way. Anyway, just, so we're looking at different regional approaches, the unhoused, maybe farming, but yeah, so we're looking at different ideas. As opposed to just staying within the technology realm. So it's pretty exciting.
Any other questions? So you guys just send a report, I guess, and then we can add to the minutes and stuff like that. Perfect.
I'm glad you guys went to nuclear though. That's what I would have really liked to have gone to, but I was in a delegation.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting.
Beauty, so that's everything for 8.2. John, you had a comment or?
No, I was just gonna say, the report, I have about 26 pages of notes, but I don't think I wanna give that. Mostly for if I ever went to another AMO to help me out. So, a report could be about 3 pages.
Can be a page, John. Just where you went.
I was just gonna say half a page bullet points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
just
I can do that.
Just a summary. of the-
Mine has basically everything that AMO did. Cause I hopped in on everything, right?
Yeah.
I just couldn't stay for everything, like I had to watch the premiere from the back of the room, and then we ran to another hotel for our delegation. Like literally ran. So, yeah, I just wrote down everything, so all we need in the minutes is what plenary or what sessions you went to.
Yes.
And you don't even have to cover the rural caucus, cause I did, or the lunch. God, that lunch was terrible.
Which one is this? The medical one?
Yeah,
Oh, it leaves room for improvement.
oh,
Let's not talk about the food, because then we'll be here a while.
The nuclear one was pretty good.
But you couldn't find a banana or an apple. In the whole Shaw Center, I couldn't believe it. At least I didn't see any. Anyway, let's not go there.
Perfect. So next meeting is September 17th. Is that the meeting? They're meeting at the EGC prior?
Yes, we're gonna meet at EGC at 11
Okay,
and then come back here for the meeting. Our consultants will be back, with the Lake Clear final report.
okay.
And then we can listen to them and then I'll bring it back to council in October, once we've had time to sort of digest it, if we want to, what the next steps moving forward is. And then, we'll also have an EGC meeting following between committee and council.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's gonna be a busy old day.
So 11 o'clock, we'll go over and do a tour of EGC, then we'll come back here, have lunch, and then meeting.
And the Lake Clear final report will be in our,
Yes, we'll be in your
notes.
package ahead of
Thank
time, and it'll be on the website as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Media session. Perfect. So we'll go into closed session. Let me see. You guys need a break
Yeah,
before we go in?
yeah, grab
I
some water.
wouldn't want.
We'll take a 5-minute break in that and then we'll take us.
Do you want me to get it, Jen?
No, thanks.
I'll ask for a mover to bring us into closed session.
We are live.
So could please have a mover? John, the committee proceed in the closed session in accordance with Municipal Act 2001, section 239.2, deal with matters as indicated below, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal employees. All those in favor? Perfect, thank you very much.
He's sweating after Daryl's report.
Well,
Took all of it out of him.
could I please ask for a mover? Take us out close, please. Merv, perfect. Council moves out of closed session at 2:46 PM to rise and report the council met to receive information, give staff direction regarding the nomination for Ontario Senior Achievement Award and approve minutes from August 14th, 2024. All those in favor? Perfect, thank you very much. Could I please ask for an adjournment of the meeting, please? Mayor Murphy, Merv, all those in favor? Awesome, thank you very much, everyone.
All right, 5:15 for a public meeting.
Be here.
Um.
Take these.